Yes, it is. I'm having my tea. I wanted to um, give everyone a little life update of what's been going on my side of town. Um, I had shoulder surgery the end of last month, which is why I'm on this thing. And as a result, things have shifted so much. I mentioned this on Instagram in my stories that I didn't realize how much I used my hands until now because I'm so limited to what I can and cannot do. Or I should just say limited to what the things that I basically cannot do what I used to do is what I'm trying to say. And it has been a huge adjustment for me because if you know me personally or you've listened to my stories, my content, you know that from the time I was very little, I have been super independent. I to my own demise where I am, gosh, you see, I can't even clean my damn glasses with one hand. I have always been the type to do things by myself, to not ask for help, to get shit done, figure things out on my own, problem solve, figure things out. And so hopefully this works because they're a little foggy. It's a tiny bit better. This has been a huge adjustment for me because I shouldn't say huge because I've gotten better. So I will give myself props where props are due. I have gotten so much better. I have spoken about this before where I have leaned more into partnership. I've leaned more into support. I've leaned more into asking for help, letting my needs be known and met, and things like that. So I'm so, so proud of myself. So I don't want to skip that part and I don't want that to be something that is small because it's huge. And if you know me, you know. There was this like reel that I saw on Instagram and I instantly sent it to my sister of this woman literally carrying a washing machine on the subway and carrying it up the stairs out of the subway. And I was like, oh wow, how I have changed because I could have seen myself doing some shit like that. Like that's how I was. So I sent it to her and I was like, growth, growth. So I don't want to skip over that part of yes, back in the day I was super, super independent and just the person you go to like if you have a problem, I was the go-to person of like, how do you solve it? And I will help you solve it. And I'm still that person till this day. I've just learned to step back a little bit from that role and be on the receiving end of that because that can be exhausting. So it's crazy how things happen because the last, I would say, couple of years, I've been on this shift of leaning into being supported, leaning into expressing my needs and wants, leaning into a lot of just partnership things because I've been married for, I lose track, since '07. It's been a long time, but it doesn't feel like a long time. And even my husband, Robert, will say, he's like, you just love doing things yourself. Like, so now it's like things have flipped and it's like I need your help with this. Can you help me with that? And so he's leaning into that new role of his, which he's cool with, of course, but it's new for him because he's so used to me doing things myself and just getting shit done on my own because that's who I've always been. And so I'm saying all of that to say that it's crazy how things happen and how our growth really is like on this timeline of like how it's almost like the puzzle pieces are going, it's like Tetris, like the puzzle pieces are all fitting in the holes on this journey, right? because if I didn't start doing that work now, or back then, I should say, like where I am now, of like being limited to just having one hand that functions, one shoulder that functions 100%, because of the shoulder surgery that I had the end of last month, I would be really going through it right now. And even though, yes, it's been an impact, yes, it's been like a kind of like an upside down thing, it's just, it doesn't feel so tumultuous. It doesn't feel like it would have felt years ago, like a tower moment. It doesn't feel like that now, because I am supported, and because I've done just so much work on asking for help and doing all the things that I've been needing to do to have a balanced life and a peaceful life, which is the journey that I've been on all this time of, I literally just want peace, and I just want ease. I just want a calm life. I want a soft life. And in order for that to be my reality, I'm going to need help. I'm going to need people to assist me. And so I say all of that to say that it's crazy how things happen, because I've been having issues with my hand for, I would say, a few years now. And I remember I even had to get a wireless mouse, because like when I was on my laptop, I guess all the sourcing that I do for clients and client projects, it's like it was taking a toll on my hand. And so I ended up getting a wireless mouse, and that helped tremendously for a bit. But then I started noticing that the pain was shooting up my arm, and sometimes it will go here and it will go up to my neck, and I was like, oh, that doesn't that doesn't seem good. And I even had gotten like a wrist brace with the metal piece inside, because I was told that it's because also the way that I was positioning my hand, and Tazzy just hit the coffee table, was affecting it. Long story short, I was in physical therapy, and it just was getting worse and worse and worse. And if you know me, you know that at that time I had one dog, Taz, who's a pit bull, like an American bully. He's big. He's like 105 pounds. He's the sweetest thing ever. And now we have two dogs. But back then it was just one dog, and he and I are like this. That's like my buddy. It's like we've known each other many lifetimes. He is my sweetheart. And there was also an instance where I was walking him, excuse me, when he was younger, because now he'll be 4 in March. But back then he was probably like still 2, so still like very puppy like. And he was at that stage where he would see a squirrel or a bird and he would charge. I was like, so we were like la la da 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 da, walking down the park, in our, our usual park where I walk him, where we love to go. And we're walking like nothing. And when I walk him, I'm not on my phone. I'm very present. Also because he's big, and I just want to be aware of my surroundings. I want to be a responsible pet owner, especially to, because I have a big dog. So I'm walking with him, and all of a sudden he yanks me, and it's because he saw a squirrel. He's trying to chase the squirrel, and I swear to God, I felt like I literally physically separated from my body, because I felt like my shoulder came off. I felt like my whole arm came off my body. I was like, holy shit. He pulled me so hard trying to catch that squirrel. I don't know how I didn't fall to the floor. Like, that's how. And I'm like 200 pounds, so I'm not a skinny chick. But he's a strong dog. He's 105. He's all muscle. And I was like, oh my God. And so a combination of the two, long story short, I found out last month, or the end of September, I should say, in September, that I needed to have shoulder surgery, because I had a really bad tear in my shoulder, and it was affecting my nerves, which is why I was having that shooting pain. And it's crazy, because when I went to see the doctor, I was expecting him to say, because he sent me for an MRI, I was expecting him to be like, oh, you just need more physical therapy, or like different physical therapy, like something like that. I never in a million years thought that he would say, you're going to need surgery, because he originally thought it was frozen shoulder. because I couldn't put my shoulder, like couldn't put my hand behind my back and like, like with this I'm able to do this. I couldn't do that with this arm. And there was a lot of things I couldn't do because it was painful. So I was very limited, and I didn't like that. But I was like, you know what? I know why this is happening. It's crazy how when you do so much healing work and when you do so much work on yourself and you do a lot of shadow work and you try to get to the root of why you do the things you do, it's crazy because you become aware, right? You become so hyper aware that when things that when things used to happen to me, I used to be like, why is this happening to me? That was me. Why is this happening to me? I'm a good person. Why are these things happening to me? Like, I don't deserve this. But now that I'm so aware and I'm so much down my healing journey, that now I understand. And I used to hear people say this all the time, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And I'm like, oh, fuck you. like like I get it, but I was just like, I don't want to fucking hear that right now because I'm going through it. But now I'm starting to understand what that means. Even though I knew what it meant before, it's like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm at peace with what that means now. Because now it's like I see why this is happening. It's happening for me. It's happening to put me on the trajectory that I need to be in order to fulfill my dreams. And so now I'm in a place of so much peace because I'm like, yes, I'm in this situation where I can't drive. I can't even open up like a jar of anything. I can't like even put toothpaste on my toothbrush. I can't like even take like a really good shower. I have to like Robert has to scrub my back, which is actually kind of nice. Like I'm just like, oh, this feels so good. And he's like, shut up. And I'm like, I love this. We should do more of this. But it's just like I can't sweep. I can't do a lot of the things that I'm used to. Even like putting on my makeup, I have to put my makeup on with my left hand, which I'm almost mastering. um because when I use this working hand or arm, I feel it here. And so I'm basically being forced to just be still. And so I am honoring that, and I am shifting things in my life to be able to honor the season that I'm in right now, which is the season of stillness. Which is like, okay, I can't, like, even my morning routine has shifted where it's like, in the morning, excuse me, I used to get up, I would put on my jazz. Everybody knows I don't listen to like, I'm a huge hip hop head. I'm a huge like, I love like all kinds of cute music, like perico, bachata, like R&B. Like I'm a huge like music head, but specifically hip hop head. And in the mornings, I used to listen to a lot of Mobb Deep. I used to listen to Busta Rhymes, like just like that good old school hip hop music, Tupac and stuff like that, because that's what used to get me through when I was on survival mode. I had to tap into that energy in order just to get by. I had to. Um, I remember back then, like not even back then, but I would say maybe 2000s. People were like, "Oh, you should listen to Sade," and I was like, "Nah, I can't. I don't know what it is about her voice that puts me to sleep. Like I need something." And then looking back now, I'm like, now I could get into her music because I'm in a different place. But what I used to do, and I still do now, is I wake up. Of course, I have my gratitude little moment with my team and the universe, and I do like my little protection rituals. I come downstairs, I put on my jazz, get the dogs, take them out to the backyard so they could do their business, feed them. Then I will I will mist my plants, and I share that on my Instagram stories every morning because that's part of my like softness ritual in the mornings. And I talk to my plants and I have a moment with them. Then I have a moment with my team and I meditate. and sometimes I journal depending on my mood. But that has even shifted because I can't spray my plants anymore because just using this hand, I feel the pain here. And so I'm learning to just listen, like sit still again and listen and see what is it that I need that's going to provide me with that peace and that softness that I need in my life. And so what I've been doing now, because again, I can't write, I tried to journal, especially specifically after the election happened and we were all devastated. Well, some of us, I should say, were devastated as to the results. It's like, I'm actually very proud of myself that I was able to regulate my emotions, um, that I wasn't able to do the first time he won. The first time he won, I was like, it impacted my life so much that I needed a few mental health days. Like I was just so devastated, and so I just felt hopeless. I felt all those emotions that a lot of people are feeling now. Um, but I didn't feel that this time around. Because this time around, although yes, I'm very in tune with what is happening in reality and in the 3D world, is am so I am so guarded when it comes to my peace. It's like you are not going to disturb my peace. Your bullshit is not going to disturb my peace. Yes, I understand that he will be here the next 4 years. Yes, it's devastating. Yes, I am mad. I'm angry, but I'm also not surprised. And so I leaned into automatically going to my backyard because thank God I have a backyard. I connected with the earth. I sat down. I was outside in the backyard with my dogs. I took off my shoes. I was barefoot. I tried to journal like 2 sentences with my left hand. And I literally just spent time with the sun. And I just sat outside and took in all of that natural energy from the earth and from the sun. And I just sat there. And that was what I needed in order to feel peaceful, in order to maintain my peace, I should say, because I'm already peaceful. And I protected myself from the news. I protected myself from social media. Like I went on there a little bit and I saw what it was about. I was like, exit. I watched the news for like the morning of. I watched the news just because I was like, my sister had texted me super early in the morning telling me, and I was like, oh shit. Not surprised though. So I said, oh, let me watch the news. I watched the news for about 3 hours. So I did watch the news for the first time in like years. Election day or the day after, post-election. And I was watching and I was like, all right, it's enough. I've gotten what I've needed. I'm good. And then I went outside and I spent time with nature. I spent time with myself. I checked in with my body to see what it is that I needed. And what I needed was literally just to be outside with the sun, to be outside with my dogs, to just sit outside. And that's what I did. And that I'm saying all of that to say that that's what, in my opinion, interior design is all about. It's all about creating peace in your home. Yes, aesthetically it has to be, it's beautiful, right? You want a beautiful space at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, what we are all craving is peace. That's it. That's what we're craving is peace, because a beautiful home will make you feel amazing. A functional home will allow you to feel amazing and feel peaceful because your home is designed and styled in a way that makes sense and allows you to move throughout your space in a way that works for you and reduces stress, right? But at the end of the day, the colors you pick, the textures, the the, the materials you pick, the design style that you go with, that is all, at the end of the day, we're all looking for peace. That's it. That's what it is. And so I say that to say that I'm in this place right now where it's like, I'm understanding that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. I am no longer upset or angry when things happen. You know, I shouldn't say not. I should say long-term angry or upset, because we're human, right? I'm human. I will have my emotions. But I think the breakthrough that I've also am so grateful for is the fact that I've always had a problem, or I've always, not problem, I've always found, I'm choosing my words wisely, I've always found it difficult to regulate my emotions when I'm going through a tough time. Even up until recently. And so learning to regulate my nervous system has been groundbreaking for me. And I'm still working at it. I'm still like, but what has really helped me is becoming more aware of, this is happening because of this, that, 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 and this, because this needs to happen, and that needs to happen, and that needs to happen, and that can't happen if this is still happening. So another lesson that I'm learning is the lesson of letting go. Of, okay, we've decided that this is the path we're taking in life, but with that path comes release. The release of that you can't bring with you. There's not enough luggage in the world or suitcases in the world that can bring along that onto this journey. And so sitting with myself and really coming to terms with the decisions that I need to make in order to make my dreams a reality, and I'll share what those are later on. For once in my life, for the first time in my life, does not feel so scary. Because I've been going through this particular lesson for, I would say, about 15 years now. And if you know me, you know I'm very stubborn. I used to be a control freak, A-type personality. I can do it myself, like I said before. And those are my dogs snoring in the background. And I am learning that we are all supported. I am learning that I can do hard things because I've done them before. I have survived so much worse. And I've heard people say that it's like, make a list of all the hard things you've done and all the things you've survived. Did you die? I've heard people say that, and I'm just like, yes, I get what you're saying, but right now I'm going through it, and all of that shit just goes out the window. So now I'm learning to take a step back and really sit in that. And it's like, okay. Okay. And so I know now why. Well, I shouldn't say I know now. I knew instantly when the doctor was like, you're going to need surgery and you're going to be, you know, not yourself for a few months. I was like, after I kind of went through the Charlie Brown experience of like, wah, 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 like you're almost like, I, and I had this happen to me before when my son was burned, where when I took him for the consult to see the burn doctor, where he initially looked at his burn, and he was like, he needs surgery today. And I remember I had like this out of body experience where I don't remember anything he said to me. I was literally like, like my body and immediately went into trauma mode. You know, like you've seen those movies where there's like a traumatic event happening and someone's just sitting there like, and there's like chaos happening all around them and everyone's losing their shit and they're just like in shock, like they can't move. They're just like, so this is literally the second time this happened and I'm getting emotional even talking about it. Um, but when he said that, I was just like those were the last words I heard, and then it was just Charlie Brown, like wah wah, like I remember his physician assistant had to like touch me, and that's when I kind of came out of my stance, and I was like, I'm sorry, I need what? It was like, and then once I heard it again, I remember I looked up, and I was like, okay, because I knew immediately what that meant, which I will share later on, not here. I immediately knew what that meant. And then when I said to him, so what caused this? And he was like, it was probably of a sudden like pull. And I was like, because I was like telling him that I was having so much pain in my hand from the computer and typing and things like that. He was like, that could have been a contribution towards it, but I'm leaning more towards like some sort of like a sudden pull. And I was like, then that had to happen when I was walking Taz. And it's crazy because Tazzy, Taz, Lumpa Lump, he has so many names. And I have such a bond. And like I said, I feel like we've been together in other lifetimes. Is he, animals sense our energy and animals know when we're going through things. And I've been going through a lot lately. And it's almost like he knew that I needed this. And so he was like, all right, we're going to do something about this. Ain't nobody gonna mess with my mama. We're gonna do something about this. And it sucks for him now and for Opal because I can't walk them while I'm, in a sling. But I'm just so grateful for him. And I say that to say that it's amazing to me how it's like I'm never shocked when things happen in a certain way, because it's there's always a reason for it. And so yeah, and this like time of stillness, which I have been going through for heavily for like the last couple of years, because I've had so many shifts happen in my life, whether that's shifts for the better in my marriage, in my friendships, in my work life, in even with family, like all of that was in preparation for this. Because if all of those shifts didn't happen back then, I wouldn't be taking in what is happening now in such a great way. I would be sulking. I would be like, why me? Why is this happening to me? I can't do shit. I'm just gotta sit still and just gotta be here looking at the fucking wall. And it's like, I'm like embracing this. I'm like, wow, I get to rest. I get to experience that slow life that I've been craving for so long. And I get to spend time with my dogs. I get to have a slow morning. I get to spend more time with my team. Like, that's in a way that's not rushed, that's very intentional and very just slow. I get to spend so much time by myself. And that time by myself has allowed me to also make changes in my business, of implementing the things and the business that I want to have, right? Where I've always felt like something didn't click in my business, of like, yes, I do interior decorating, I help women of color transform their spaces, but there's more to it. And I couldn't figure out what that was. But in the stillness, I was able to figure it out. And it's like, at the end of the day, people want peace. And at the end of the day, I know that I want to create a peaceful environment for my clients, but I also want it to be in a way that's true to them. And the way that that can be true to them is by making it a unique space. And how do we make it a unique space? We use your birth chart to do that. And it's like, all of that would have not clicked if I didn't go through the things I went through. I would have never gotten that download. And then to the point of like, even in my own home, as I transformed my own home, which is still in transformation mode and will forever be in transformation mode, because if you know anything about interior design, you know that your home transforms as you transform, or it should, in order for it to feel like it's in alignment with you. In order for you to feel at peace in your home, you and your home have to be on the same level. Because a lot of times we grow, we mature, we do healing work, we do a lot of those things, but our home doesn't transform along with us. And then that's why the disconnect starts to happen. But like I was saying, if I wasn't in this stillness, I would have never embraced and started to combine my love of astrology with my love of interior design, and see how the two can work together to create a peaceful environment that is true to your heart and that is true to the essence of who you are. I would have never made that connection. And I just think that that's just wow. And so maybe that can provide some assistance, right? Because a lot of us are afraid to sit still. A lot of us are afraid to be alone with our thoughts, along with our fears, alone with our emotions. A lot of us are just afraid of that. Or maybe it was just me. Which is why I was always so go, 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 go. Very Aries like, because I have a South Node in Aries in my 6th house of work life. And it's like, the more and more that I get to know my chart, the more and more my life makes sense to me. And so that's why it was so hard for me to lean into a soft life, because my South Node is in Aries in my 6th house. All I know how to do is go at everything at 1,000 miles per hour. All I know how to do is burn out. All I know how to do is do things on my own, or used to. And in the last couple of years, I have leaned into my North Node, which is Libra, which is, of course, the complete opposite of Aries. And I have a whole playlist on my channel here on how you can decorate your home in the style of your zodiac sign, whether that's your sun, your moon, your rising, your North Node, but I feel like the North Node is the most important aspect to use, and I have a whole video on that as well on my channel. You can find that there. But I know this works because I've gone through it. And it's like, it's amazing how I am in this season of my life that I never in a million years would have thought that I would be here. Like, because I literally, like, when I hear that song by Alicia Keys, Superwoman, I remember the first time I heard that song, I cried. Because I related so much to that song. And I was like, and I have family and friends who tell me all the time, they're like, damn, Julie, you're like so fucking strong. You're like a fucking superwoman. You can figure anything out. You are just wow. And like the more and more that I'm on my healing journey, it's like I don't want to be known as the superwoman anymore. Thank you. Tatum's Diary. Thank you, Mama. I don't want to be known as that person anymore. Even though I still have those qualities in me and I know I could tap into that energy when I need it, I don't want that to be the core of who I am anymore. I want to be that person who embraces peace and where peace is the norm. And I don't want to say I want to because I'm already here, is yo, when you do so much work on your root chakra, it's like nothing is going to break you down. It could be the most chaotic time in your life and you will not be shaken. It's like that tree that I love so much, the baobab tree in Africa, where it is so stable. Ain't nothing gonna unroot it. It might lose a few branches, a few leaves. It may sway a little if it's windy, but it's not coming down. And that's like where I am right now. It's like there can be chaos, there could be tumultuous events happening, there can be all of that going on. And it's like, yes, we can feel all of it. We can be in our emotions because that's healthy, but we're not going to live there. We're going to then rise up and do what we need to do, make sure that we are contributing to a better place and a better society. And so that is a lesson that I'm learning, or I've learned throughout this process of like sitting my ass down, really looking in to see what is the life that I want to create, creating a game plan to make that happen, and continuing to just honor the stage that I am in my life right now, where it's about balance, calm, peace, ease. But that still doesn't mean that we can't, or I cannot tap into that Aries energy when I need it, because they say you can take the hood out of somebody, but you can't. You can take them out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of somebody. It's still there, and if you come for it, it'll meet you. But we're no longer that person. And so, yeah, I just wanted to kind of just give you a life update. The channel is expanding in such a beautiful way of tapping into that love of astrology and interior design. And I hope that you guys have all watched the videos on how to decorate your space using your zodiac sign. I poured my heart and soul into those videos, and it was super scary to do because it was something that I was super passionate about, but I just was, you know, a little scared to share. And then I was like, you know what? We're just gonna go for it. And I was so proud of myself because I even hired a video editor. So I was leaning into asking for help, which years ago I would have never done because all of my earlier videos, I edited them myself. And you could clearly see the difference between when I edited my videos and when I brought in a video editor. And then once I brought in the video editor, I was like, oh my God, what was I doing all these years? Why didn't I do this sooner? Like, because bringing in the video editor allowed me to focus just on creating the videos. I didn't have to spend 2-3 hours editing. I didn't have to spend all this time of like doing the shit that I did not enjoy to do. Like, I just want to press record and film. Like, that's it. And send it to them, let them do their magic, send it back to me, let me approve it and upload it to the channel. Whereas before I was like, it was no longer fun because I was doing things that were not fun. And so it was also that like investing, investing in myself and asking for help and accepting help and knowing that the process wasn't going to be perfect, because that's another, thing I had to work on, is this perfectionism. Um, which is funny because, like I mentioned, my South Node is in my sixth house of work and life, but the sixth house ruler is Virgo. And I have so many Virgo qualities of like perfection. Everything needs to be, you can't move until your whole plan is in place. You have to have the perfect plan. You have to think of plan A, B, C, D, E, and then I'll move. It was just like, it was just crazy. And I was like, no, I have to just take action, even if it's imperfect, even if it's a little, not so cute. You just got to take action and everything will just unfold in the way it's supposed to unfold, and just trusting. So letting go of that control was hard for me before, and now I've gotten so much better where it's like, okay, fuck, now I gotta find a video editor. How do I find a video editor? Okay, we're gonna research that. Okay, we're gonna put out some feelers, and we just, I went through like maybe 2 or 3, and finally I found someone that really clicks. And so I would have never done that if I didn't just do it. I would have still been editing my videos myself. I would have still been doing all the work myself. And it's like, no, you don't have to do everything yourself. You just have to focus on what you're a genius at, which is decorating. Yes, I can, edit videos. Yes, I can edit pictures. Yes, I know how to do a lot. Because I know how to figure things out. That doesn't mean I need to do them myself. That doesn't mean that I need to just keep piling things on my plate and just continuing to add more to my to-do list. No. I need to take things off my to-do list. And so I've grown so much, and I'm so proud of myself for being here and for this season in my life of stillness and awareness and tapping in and just spending time by myself and really figuring out what is the direction that I want to take in my life. What is the direction I want to take with my business? And it makes me so happy because I get that time, that quiet time where it's like I can block out the noise of like, I'm not basing decisions on fear. I'm not basing my decisions on scarcity. I'm not basing my decisions on surviving. I'm basing my decisions on connecting with my soul and connecting with my guides and my spirit team of like, no, this is what's gonna make you happy. This is it here. And now that we've identified what that is now we come up with a game plan. And yes, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just like a good foundation of what that is. What is the game plan? And then just work in the game. And is there a little fear there? Yes, which is always good. You always want a little, just a sprinkle, just a dash, just a dash of fear, because you know you're on the right track. Because it's like you just know. And so I'm very grateful for this season that I'm in right now. Even though I'm a little limited physically, I am so abundant mentally and spiritually. And so that makes up for the physical limitations. So expect more videos on the channel, more videos on wellness and interior design. Spirituality and interior design, maybe some chakra info and connections, and more astrology connections, and just basically a combination of me on the channel. And that's kind of all I needed to say. Yeah. No, Daryl. Not that I'm aware of. I don't think you've ever said anything inappropriate, so no need to apologize. Those are the only comments I see here. But if you're catching the replay, thank you. If you were here live, double thank you. And I'm hoping to do more of these and continuing to share with you guys on the channel. If you're on my email list, I share there as well. So make sure that you're on there. There's a link to hop on the email list in my profile. Share this content with anyone who you feel that it will help and assist. And this has been a time, even though I feel like I'm talking to myself, because it's like, it's not like a Zoom, but this is dope. I definitely have to do more of these. So shout out to all who have joined, and I will see you in the next one. Have an amazing, blessed day. Protect your energy at all costs, and I send you all the love.